In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna explains the idea of karma and duty. He makes a profound statement. You are entitled to your action, but not the fruit of your action. This is completely against our basic instincts in this society. The only reason we do stuff is for the fruit, not the action. Marcus Aurelius was a Roman emperor and a Stoic. In his writings, which became the famous Meditations, he lists various things which corresponds to Buddhist traditions, which is very interesting because obviously they had never met, as far as I know. The reliance on knowledge as a factor which brings enlightenment is very, very similar to the Buddhist idea of right understanding, as being one aspect of the Eightfold Path. He spoke at length about being detached, stating that worrying about that which you cannot control is futile. To the Roman Stoicists, you could basically deprive them of all their desires and they would still be as attached to that reality as much so as they'd be attached to a reality of glory, excess, and pleasure. Looking into Meditations, there's a section where Marcus Aurelius says, "And he who pursues pleasure as good and avoids pain as evil is guilty of impiety. For of necessity, such a man must often find fault with the universal nature, alleging that it assigns things to the bad and the good contrary to their deserts. But frequently the bad are in the enjoyment of pleasure, and possess things which procure pleasure, but the good have pain for their share, and the things which cause pain." Immediately when reading this verse, it made me remember the Quran verse where it says, "You may love a thing and it is bad for you, and you may hate a thing but it is good for you," and obviously God knows best. It seems that for anyone to achieve true wisdom, they need to let go of this infantile mentality that pleasure is what they need to be seeking. We all know that Abrahamic religions feature a paradise as sort of the end of a righteous person's unfolding of their destiny. When you look at Abrahamic religions, the beauty of paradise as an idea is that it's a true ultimate motivation. So there is a hadith which says that for every amount of pain that the believer suffers, he is rewarded a good deed. Imagine with that beautiful mentality, you would almost want pain. It would no longer be a negative. Back to the Bhagavad Gita. In that chapter, Arjuna is lamenting. He is basically crying at the fact that he has to slay his own community members, his own elders and teachers. He starts to even propose the idea that maybe it would be better if they conquer us and restore some order. Krishna is looking at him and is like, almost laughing. He's like, "Dude, you're crying over basically nothing. Do you realize that the soul is eternal? Water cannot wet it, fire cannot burn it, it can't be dried by wind. It's eternal, unchanging, and primordial." Not only that, but he also goes on to say that it is his duty as a warrior to fight, and that when he is acting in line with his duty, karma is no longer accrued. He is simply a vessel of the divine will. Because when you truly realize those two things combined, the eternal soul and the fact that you're here to perform a duty that is irrelevant of pain and pleasure, you transcend that. This, in my opinion, is the best form of Stoicism to practice, combining all these traditions to understand that the soul cannot be destroyed, that you are here to perform a duty, that every negative thing that happens to you is accrued as positive energy and karma. These things combined are a much greater form of Stoicism, which includes spirituality, not by simply feeling like a cold calculating robot, but by truly feeling connected in the world we live in.